Hi, I am Lothlanan, also known as Andrea Tammy, and I'm going to be doing a short little eye tutorial today. I did an art tutorial in my last video as well, so if you're interested in seeing the basics of the eye and how the eyelid forms around this sphere that we call an eyeball, go check that out. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about eye styles and eye expressions and how you can use it as a powerful tool in drawing your characters. I'm going to do my best. Hopefully it helps some of you. If you're advanced, it might not help you that much. This is more for someone who's in the beginning stages. I'm going to be using the iPad Pro with the Sketchbook app. And again, this is me, Lothlanan, Art of Andrea Tammy, and you can find me all over the internet. I'm mostly on Instagram. Lothlanan. I also have a personal Instagram, which is Andrea Tammy. I'm also on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. And I am all under Lothlanan on there. And then I'm also on TikTok, but on TikTok it's just Andrea Tammy. Hi, welcome to my little video. As I mentioned, in my previous video I talked about the eye and the basics of the eye and how to render the form with the eyelids and reflections and light and how that all plays an important part in actually the physicalities of the eyeball and the eyelid and how it all comes together. Alright, so we're going to start off by talking about the basic anatomy of the eye. I know I discussed that in my previous video, but we're just going to do a little run through again. So as you know, the eye is a round shape. It actually comes a little bit out like this because this is your cornea. And then there's like, I don't know, a bunch of gross stuff that plugs into your brain back here. So if this is your iris, then your eyelid falls over like this. Okay? Eyelashes, eyelashes, and then you have a segment of fat, then you have your brow bone. Same here. And of course, the eyelid opens and closes like that. I know it's silly to see like that, just drawn over top, but hopefully you get the idea. So now that we've discussed the basics of the eye in profile, I am going to go over a bunch of different eyes, and this is going to be a pretty short video, so don't get mad at me for it. However, I hope it helps you guys. I mean, I could be wrong in assuming this, but I'm going to assume that most people, when they draw an eye, they do it like this. And then they have the eyebrow. Okay, I'm going to assume that that is how a lot of people start to draw an eye. I am going to take it a little bit further, and we're going to get into styles and expression. So the top curve of the eye is going to be more dramatic than the lower curve because I'll show you in a second. If it is just as deep of a curve, and if your iris and your pupil stay the same size, this one looks more surprised than this one does, doesn't it? And then, if we toned it down even a bit more, and say we had a bit of eyelid over top there. About same iris and pupil size. That one looks way more relaxed. So you can see how the eyelids are very expressive in defining the expression of a character. Now that we've talked about that, let's actually draw some eyes. You were drawing eyes, Andrea. Yes, I know. Don't patronize me. So there's a few different styles of eyes, and I'm by no means am I talking about every single style of eye here. I'm going to limit it to maybe 2 or 3 styles of eyes, because there are as many different ways to draw an eye as there are hands to draw them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right or wrong way. And there's just ways that you feel comfortable with doing, and there's ways that you think are cool, so you're going to adapt your style to what you like. And for me, obviously these are different eyes, different styles, but it's all still in my style. So bear with me if it's not exactly what you would call the regular. Here we have an eye. And I'm going to throw in the eyebrow as well. It's going to be a pretty average eyebrow. It's parents. We're just normal people. When I shade eyes, I like to always shade from the top and just let it gradiate down. But that's just me. Okay, so as in the last video, we talked about the importance of the eyelid folds, and sometimes you get it down here as well. So again, eyelid fold. Alright, so this is one style of eye that I am going to show you today. And this is another style of eye. This one is more boxy, so therefore it has more of a strong, less feminine vibe to it. But it doesn't mean it can't be a feminine eye. It can't, like, it's not saying it has to be a masculine eye. It doesn't have to belong to a boy. And this is more of like an anime type. You see this a lot in like manga or anime, and I like this. And we're gonna give him a strong brow. Yes. And sure, that could be a dude's eye. It could. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be a very strong female eye. And basically just add eyelashes and it looks like a girl's eye. I don't know why, because in my experience, dudes naturally have longer lashes than a lot of girls do. I don't know if you've noticed that. Maybe it's just me. But guys always seem to have long eyelashes. It's weird. And then girls end up getting extensions and everything. Next, we're going to do a very curvy eye, very feminine eye, very anime eye. I'm sure you guys all know this. You start with the huge, strong arch, taper it down to a point, maybe even have a flare there. And then you have a teeny tiny lower lash. And the iris has to be bigger as well, because if you, I'm just going to show you that real quick. If I were to maintain the size of the iris when something like this is drawn, they're going to look like concerned or worried or something. So See that? Like, it looks like it's like they're scared, like they're seeing something terrible happen. So that's because of the iris. It's reflecting fear in the eyes. And of course, if you don't want to reflect fear, you want to make them seem normal and comfortable and not like they're gonna wet their pants. You gotta make them more comfortable and give them a bigger eye. And because this is a more anime-esque eye, like, we don't have to follow rules. Pupils don't have to be round. Like, you're an artist. Make them whatever you want them to be. We're gonna give this one a star pupil. And we're gonna put in, oh, I didn't do that for the others. We're gonna go back and do that. Gotta give a reflecting light. And this could be a boy's eye, but we're gonna throw in some eyelashes and make it easily identifiable as feminine. Alright, and we are gonna go back and give light to the eyes. They say that the eyes are the windows to the soul, and if you don't give a bit of light reflection to them, they can look kind of robotic. So when you're drawing eyes, reflection in the eye is very important to maintaining that life. And why stop there when we can keep going? I mean, like I said, infinite things you can do with eyes. And eyes are one of my favorite things to draw, so why not? You guys probably have seen Family Guy, Simpsons, Steven Universe. A lot of cartoons actually play with round and oval shapes for their eyes. I don't know if it's because it just makes the animation more, I don't know, mesh better with the animators or what, but so when you have these kinds of shapes, you can be very dramatic and simple, and it gets your message across very easily. So lower lid, upper eyelid, kind of like going like Stewie or something. That's kind of like a suspicious look. And same here with the oval eye. You can even raise that lower lid a bit more, make it look like ugh. And a suspicious look, especially if you play with the eyebrows and you kind of make them like look under their brow bone, kind of like they don't trust you. Things like that. Other expressions are like sad. So, I mean, sad and tired, they kind of have like very similar ways of expressing themselves. So if I was gonna go droopy upper lid and then like that could be tired. If I was trying to make sad, I would go like, I would just keep the lower lid non-existent, and I would maybe even cut off a bit of the top, and then I would just let the eyebrow do the work. Thing is that you kind of want the eyelid and the eyebrow to follow the same line, which I kind of didn't do there, so I'm fixing it. This angle for the eyelid and this angle for the eyebrow kind of gives it like a sad look, or it could be like a not caring look. If you wanted it to be super sad, you would increase the angle of all this. You could go like this. So super sad. You just increase the angle, and then you could be like that. Like something really, really sad happened. So the eyebrows like really over the eye. And honestly, if you're trying to show tears, make their eyes go bigger so you can put in lots of reflection. And then you can always add in some tears as well. And of course, the same principle applies for the oval eyes. Get like the tears in there. Furrow the brow a bit. Can even squeeze up the cheeks. Okay, so those are 2 ways to do like sad eyes. By the way, there's not really a rule, but the tear ducts of the eye are in the inner corner. So a lot of times when a tear starts to show up in the eye, it'll actually be like here as opposed to here. But the reason I did it over here is because sometimes it starts here and then it carries over by like your lower lid and then it pools over here. It all kind of depends like the angle of your face. So if a character's face is angled this way, tears aren't going to pool up here. They're always going to just fall straight from the source. You know what I mean? So just keep like physics in mind and whatnot when you're drawing tears. And let's see, like angry. Angry's pretty simple. You just draw angry shapes. Yeah? Easy. So yeah, let's go over that again. We had sad eyes, angry eyes. What's one more thing we can do with this? We can just leave them open. Like, you don't need to have the eyelid overlap. You could just be like normal eyes. And I know that that's a small pupil, but depending on the average, depending on how your characters look in like your series, your whatever, small pupils like this. Okay, big. All right, so this is just normal. It's a small pupil, but if you wanted to make them look freaked out, all you gotta do is make it hollow. And then they're like, what? Yeah. So just little things like that to build your characters. Pretty easy to do. So again, that was sad eyes, angry eyes. And actually you can make angry eyes look way more angry if you play with those brows. Just, yeah. And remember about following the line will help increase your expressivity. Is that a word, expressivity? I don't know, but it should be if it isn't. Yeah, look at those eyes. And the thing I said about hollowing out your irises, that can work for angry eyes too. Like, it can make them look really angry. You could even like push it even further if you're coloring it. Make it red. Be like, whoo, don't mess with me. I will slap you. I will slap you so silly. Okay. Okay. So, once again, we had the... So, I mean, you have sad eyes. You have, like, angry or suspicious eyes. And then you can have, like, normal eyes. Just normal pupils. Everyday expression. And like, I know that they seem kind of funny, but as soon as you put in the eyebrow, I mean, that's just the character's face at that point. So Oh yeah, I mean, like, you can also have, like, what would this be? That would be suspicious. That would be kind of like angry. That would be suspicious. Like, what you doing over there? I think I'm going to take one of these eyes that I did up here and show you different expressions with that eye, because we did it with the round and the oval eye. What would happen if we applied the same principles to one of the more detailed stylized eyes? So let's go with this one, because it's kind of like the in-between point. Let's start off with like a shocked eye. So a shocked eye, one of the key points of being a shocked eye is your brow muscle is going to be raised, like, as opposed to, say, a character who's like this all the time. They raise their eyebrows in surprise. So by raising this muscle, you're actually raising the skin here. So that in turn means that your eye is going to be slightly raised, and you'll see a bit more of the whites in that area. The whites of your eyes. And then another thing is that when you're surprised and it raises your eyelids like that, your iris is going to not be covered by the top lid. And that's where you get the real element of surprise, because you see the whole of your iris. And in this circumstance, I'm going to leave the pupil blank, because the eyes are the window to the soul, and the pupil, when it's filled in solid, it kind of has this grounded, like, whole aspect to it, whereas if it's hollow, it's kind of like you're out of your head. It's like you're empty. It's like you don't know what it is that you're looking at. So to me, that expresses shock and surprise a lot more than a filled in pupil. Sorry, tangent. And like, how you play with the eyebrow with an expression like this really can give depth to what it is that you're trying to get across. So for instance, let's finish these eyelashes and whatnot first. For instance, if you just had a dead, like, straight pan eyebrow like that, like, that's almost like a concerned, shocked face. Like, oh my gosh, what is it that you're looking at? You just saw something terrifying and you can't believe it. So, however, if your eyebrow was like super tilted up, like that, that's like even more concern. You're not really confused, you're just concerned at what you're looking at. If you went with a eyebrow like this, where it goes down, then that's kind of like a angry surprised, you know? We are going to do a raised kind of deadpan eyebrow. And don't forget, we had the little notch there, and it was kind of like a thick eyebrow. So that's surprise. Now we're gonna do like a suspicious. So when you do an expression, I want you to enact it on your face, and I want you to focus on the muscles that you feel working. So for me, if I'm being suspicious, I'm gonna look like out the corner of my eye. I'm gonna be like, who is that? And like, what do they think they're doing? So I would do something like the corner of my eye. Maybe like you would see my lid because I'm squinting a bit. Maybe I'm squinting a bit more than that. Maybe my lower lid is kind of like up there. And then you would want like Suspicious. So that's like a suspicious eye. Like, what you doing? The next eye we're going to do is... Sorry, I'm just fixing this eyebrow. Need to be consistent, kind of. Got a little tilt up of the lower lid there. Sorry, my brush was too thick and it was bugging me. So, for sad eyes, I like to really show the lid there. And then like really get emphasis of like the eyebrows. And then remember what I said about the irises can get kind of, the pupils can get kind of big. And you can have like some tear action. And then we're going to put in some reflecting for the eyes. So yeah, different expressions. So yeah, more eyes. More. Can do like shocked and looking down. So when an eye is looking down, you have to remember that you get like kind of, how to describe this, like the top of a ball and how it's round. The cheek makes that shape. So you gotta have this. And then like looking down. And remember what I said about the hollow pupil? That can really help make the shocked expression come through. However, even stronger than that would be just the pupil looking down. Like, oh my gosh! Ah. Sorry, I make weird noises. So, yeah. And so I'm just going to do some more stylized eyes for you guys to just kind of see. And these are going to be like anime, manga, comic-esque. So remember that this shape here is the actual eye. This shape here, that's just the eyelashes. It's a stylized way of doing the eyelashes. So I know you wouldn't do this, but don't ever go like this. I mean, you could, but it's kind of weird. That's just weird. I mean, you could, but it's a bit weird. It would be more appropriate to make the eyelashes kind of like taper into it like that. And then you can have like the lower lid, some eyelashes there. And then maybe it's like a cat eye, hey? We haven't done a cat eye. cat eye means the pupil is kind of like a slit. And can be like a stern expression, very thin eyebrows. Okay, so that's one more stylized eye. What's another we can do? Let's do like cat in water eye. So same eye. We're going to emphasize roundness because roundness will express surprise. And that means we're going to go down a bit here. And then we're going to have a teeny tiny iris, a teeny tiny pupil. Okay. So mistake that I just made because I'm using a digital stylus and sometimes it's hard to center things. And this is important. And I know it's kind of like a beginner's tip here, but I mean, everyone can make mistakes sometimes. So this is the circle of the iris. Make an X. In the center of that X, that is always where the pupil should go. Never ever, and this is a hard stern rule, never ever have like the pupil up here, never ever have the pupil over here. Like, unless you're a cyborg and you have like a cybernetic like red laser eye inside of an iris that's mechanical, your pupil is not going to move. Your pupil will always be in the center of your iris because your iris operates kind of like a camera lens. It goes in and out. Like it expands and it contracts. It's like a sphincter is a funny word. It's like a sphincter. Your eye is like a sphincter. Your iris pupil is like a sphincter. Yes. It will always be in the center of your eye because a sphincter doesn't open up to a side. A sphincter will always open up with epicenter in the middle, and that epicenter will always be your pupil inside of your iris. Yeah. So sorry, just a little lesson there. And the reason I mention it is because in college, there were quite a few people who would not center the pupil in the iris, and like it was just a little bit off center, but it would still look wrong. So always, if you feel like it's not right, make that X, make sure it's center. Anyway, here, don't forget those eyelashes we decided to put in. Same eye, shocked eye. And we can even like put in the signs of life, so the reflectivity. And something that you can also do is you can like draw lines around the reflective lights. Like if you don't have shadow to define that there's light reflecting there, just draw lines around it. Like there's no problem. No problemo. And then, oh my God, what is that? It's water? Why are you putting water there? Water's disgusting, don't you know? I'm a cat lady. I hate water. I'm so glad I'm not doing this on Twitch. I can just imagine all of the highlights people would take from this. Okay, so there we have eyes. Different styles of eyes, different expressions with eyes. Is there anything else I should do? I know. Let's talk a little bit more about the ways you can, kind of like what I'm going for here. Let's talk a little bit more about the pupil and the lower lid and how that can like really help cement your expressions. And I mean, if you're not advanced enough to be doing expressions and stuff, and you're still just kind of like learning drawing the eye, just watch me draw. Like, you know, you can learn by watching things. So, all right. So, here is an eye. Yes, it's a very stylized eye, but an eye it is. If we wanted to take the same eye, and we're going to try to duplicate that line I just made for the upper lid and lash, okay? If we really emphasize that lower lid and kind of make it go like that, and then if we like give a teeny tiny pupil, look at how much that changes the expression. So much, hey? If we did the opposite, like we're gonna start with the same upper lash design, like the upper lid design. So it's gonna be like this. By the way, if it's not clear, I'm trying to maintain that shape for all three of these eyes that I'm drawing. So if we were to take this, and instead of going up like I did in the previous design, we're going to go down, 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 deep curve. It's almost matching the upper curve, but we're going to make a bit of a distressed eye. So distressed eyes often pop, and it's the same as having a teeny tiny iris, except instead of the lower lid going up like it did in that one, it's going down. So instead of kind of like being like a hoo-hoo, it's more like a ha, because sounds explain things so much better than words can. There, we did a bunch of eye designs, and oh, it's really bugging me that that one is in a light photo blue. I don't know why it switched to that color. I really don't. It's so weird. But it's okay. Maybe we'll just go over it real quickly. There. Better. Better. What's your favorite eye out of all of these? Like, I'm actually curious. Like, let me know in the comments, like, which one is your favorite? Because I'm kind of digging this one. I think that one is cool. I actually really like this one as well. Like, this one, I think that one's cool too. Yup. You can just draw like a little character here. Angry eyes. Angry eyebrows. Angry mouth. Clenched teeth, bowl cut, work of art. Yeah, so that is the short tutorial I had for you guys. Not really a tutorial, more like a, like, this is how I do, and like, you're welcome to watch me do what I do, and hopefully it's helpful, and hopefully I explained some things okay. Let me know things that you find helpful or would like some more clarification on, and maybe I can address it in the next video. And don't forget that you can find me online, so please hit the subscribe button so that you can check out other videos that I upload. I don't know if I'm going to maintain this channel strictly as artwork. I might put on some other stuff as well, because if you follow my social media, you'll know I travel and I bake and I do a lot of like interesting things that, I don't know, some people might find nice to watch. Thank you for watching. So, if you guys like these videos, I might keep doing them. So let me know by subscribing or liking the video, commenting. Yeah, it'd be nice to hear from you. So, till next time.